Srirama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Srirama Nama Varanane Srirama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Srirama Nama Varanane Srirama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Srirama Nama Varanane. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. In ancient India, a perfect man was called a rishi. That idea is kept up undiminished to this day. Anybody can become a rishi. Man or woman must consciously strive for it. Intuition or the divine eye is developed in him through self-discipline. Knowledge becomes self-evident to the rishi. It is unfolded from within and not imposed from without. Through self-exertion, Valmiki became a Maharishi or the great seer of truth. His immortal literary work bears evidence to it. It is simple and at the same time sublime. Valmiki did not belong to the lineage of spiritual men. He came of the common stock. He started his career as a highway robber. It so happened that he once attacked Narada Maharishi and wanted to plunder him. The sage reprimanded him and said that was not the way of a good man. But the robber defended himself, saying that he had to maintain his family somehow. Money had to be earned by foul means if fair means could not succeed. Robbery and murder were great sins which would not be shared by the relatives, was the warning given by Narada. The man went home to verify the statement. He was surprised to hear his people say that they had a claim on his earnings, but that they had nothing to do with his sins. This hard fact in human life gave him a rude shock. It opened his eyes. He hastened to Narada and entreated him for redemption. The celestial sage took pity on the plunderer and made him repeat the sacred syllable Rama. As he chanted the name, it transformed his mind. He took to holy living. The change for the good came over him as spontaneously as waking up from a bad dream. The novice got so deeply absorbed in the utterance of the mantra that he rose above body consciousness. He derived immense bliss in attuning himself to the Rama mantra. He sat in meditation of that sound reality and became introvert. In the course of time, an ant-hill grew and covered his body, but he in trance was not aware of it. He is therefore called Valmiki, which means one who developed into a sage in an ant-hill. Srirama is the personification of the mystic sound Rama. The attainment of perfection by the ceaseless utterance of the mantra Rama made the Maharishi Valmiki intuit the entire spiritual career of Srirama. What he intuited, he composed into the sacred epic called Ramayana. Along with the advent of an incarnation of God, a Maharishi also comes to record the holy biography of the divine person. Valmiki Maharishi came to chronicle Srirama's sport as the human. The author and the hero together give sanctity to this great epic. Among the classical literature of the world, Ramayana stands foremost. Though Indian in origin, it is universal in its hold on mind. It is observing to the child, elevating to the common man, thought-provoking to the learned, inspiring to the mystic, and illuminant to the sage. Ramayana does not become stale because of repeated study. As the plunge bath renews the body, perusal of this epic rejuvenates the mind. As food nourishes the physic, Ramayana cherishes the faculty of understanding. It is a life companion of the ardent. Sri Rama is the pivot on whom the whole fabric of this immortal epic is woven. It is therefore called Ramayana, or the story of Rama. He is the model to the young and the old, to the man of the world and to the recluse absorbed in the glory of the self. He embodies virtue and ardently applies it to life in conflicting circumstances. Though stationed in the mundane, he is at the core supremely above it. Sita is the ideal wife of Rama. The word Sita means the furrow made by a plough. This girl was born without parents. As a daughter of the earth, she was found in a furrow, and so she was called Sita, brought up by the king Janaka. Sita is the embodiment of purity and womanly virtues. She conquered misery by calmly enduring it. Sita is the last word on womanly perfection. Belief is one thing and philosophy quite another. God gives man what he prays for. This is belief. It may or may not be true. Man gets what he wants provided he makes himself through self-preparation worthy of it. This is philosophy. It is inviolably based on truth. Knowledge of the real and of the eternal law, that is Sanatana Dharma, that governs the phenomenon is philosophy. When this law applies to the inert matter, it is science. When it applies to the life of man, it is yoga. Ramayana deals with the life and conduct of man at various levels. Ramayana is therefore termed the philosophy of humanity. Among the sacred books of India, Ramayana is classified as Itihasa. A heroic history permeated with mythology is called Itihasa. The function of mythology is to magnify and allegorize the happenings in nature. Fiction also has a place in mythology. Because of the elements of the mythology freely incorporated with Ramayana, its study becomes fascinating. It is left to us to distinguish between facts and mythological fictions running through Ramayana. The original grandeur of the biography is in no way marred when the mythological elements are eschewed. The benign and the malign are the two forces patent in nature. Conflict between these two is in evidence everywhere. In Ramayana, the benign elements are designated as rishis or the holy people. The malign are the rakshasas, ever intent on aggression and menace to the good. The bad species are in evidence at all levels. They are all taken into account in Ramayana. Another hard fact in life is there is no being on earth without its enemies. Therefore, facing the enemy is an eternal problem. All beings are forced to get their training in this respect. Survival of the fittest is a law of nature. Ramayana teaches man how to brave the enemy. Learn this art if you want to thrive, is the message contained in it. Rama's weapon is a symbol of victory. Never did he wield it in vain. Elements in society may be brought under two broad heads, the virtuous and the vicious. The former is usually considerate and the latter conceited. An anomaly also is found between the two. The vicious are generally pushful and enterprising. They plunge headlong into life. They thrive and come up very quick. The virtuous, on the other hand, are different. They hesitate and think before they launch into anything. They are very slow to come up in life. So much so, the general belief is that this world is not for the good. There is also a tendency in the mediocre to drift to the way of the wicked. But the message of Ramayana is different. Through a seemingly smooth and prosperous path, the wicked wend their way to damnation, whereas the virtuous meet with trials and tribulations all through. But every ordeal comes up to testify the genuineness of the character. They triumph in the end. That is the theme of this epic. Lust and greed are the two mighty evils that goad man into questionable actions. Of the two, lust was in evidence in all the three capitals, Ayodhya, Kishkinda and Lanka, in an ascending order. In Ayodhya, the king Dasaratha was drawn to his third queen Kaikeyi beyond proportion. He had in every way surrendered himself to her. That was the root cause of the domestic tension that compelled Rama go into exile. He negated the tension by voluntarily accepting it. In Kishkinda, sexual indulgence was a matter of course. Conjugal relationship was flexible and changeable on flimsy grounds. The affectionate brothers Vali and Sugriva fell out on this issue, which led to fatal consequences. In Lanka, this disease was rampant. But for lust, Ravana, the king of Lanka, was a model man. Because of lust, he was a menace to society. Rama had to harness all his power to exterminate this canker from the world. Lust is the cause of many evils in society. Ramayana bears evidence to it. Man grows in divinity to the extent he conquers lust. Rama's vow was to be loyal to one woman. Even in conjugal life, he was a conqueror of lust. Both he and Sita practiced celibacy all through. They mated but once for progeny. And that progeny was of divine caliber because of the sexual perfection and purity of the parents. The world evolves in divinity to the extent it takes to Sita Rama path in the matter of self-discipline and self-dedication. Jai Shri Ram.